The date and time are correct. It's Wednesday morning. I'm on Catoosa, way out, coming in from the Evansburg side. It's the first time I've been up here on this ridge that's close to the fire tower. I haven't heard anything, but it's a misty, dreary morning. Anyway, yesterday I was all over one on Bridgestone. As I was walking back to where I normally go, I hooted right before I got to the trail crossing, and he gobbled to my left. So he was between that other trail and the road. I went to the trail and got down in there and got set up on him in good shape, very early, listened to him gobble his head off. I finally called to him, he gobbled. Wasn't long after he hushed. And I just knew he was coming, but he didn't. And then I later heard him gobble further on off, back kind of toward the road. So I went that way. Took a while to catch up to him, and finally started gobbling hard again. I got set up and started cutting and cackling at him, and he gobbled 4 times in a row. So I thought I was in business there, but obviously he didn't come in. Then he hushed again. Didn't hear him gobbling anymore, so I circled around and come back out on the road. Was coming by the clear cuts and just happened to cackle again, and I'm assuming same one, gobbled from the back of one of those clear cuts. Sat up there, he never gobbled again, never showed. So anyway, yeah, it was fun. I did not hunt Monday or Sunday because of cruddy weather. Saturday, Dad and I were down in Wilson County. Glenn couldn't go. Went to Agie's first, heard at least 3. One of them was on the field to the right, which is where we went. He gobbled. He may have seen me trying to get into that one set of trees that goes across the field, cuts across. That's where I wanted to get. He was just to the left of them, so between them and the road. But anyway, but then he finally started gobbling and got out there. I never did see him. I did hear him fly across the creek, but then I started cutting at him and he gobbled again. And then in just a minute, I kind of moved my head or moved my hands or something and looked over to my right, and he was standing down there at the edge of the field. So anyway, that was that. Dad and I then, after I messed with him for a little while, because I already moved back over toward where that guy lives back there behind that field. There was one across the road gobbling his head off, but then we heard somebody shoot like 3 times in a row, so don't know what that was. Then as we were driving around, we got over by the power lines, and there were some, 2, at least we could see 2 in strut, up, kind of back up toward where Glenn's field is, and we circled down through those cedars, got set up. They answered but moved away. We moved again. They answered more. Thought they might be coming, but they didn't. They moved to the other side of that set of trees that's just before Glenn's field, and we ended up getting up there in those, to that line of trees. One of them ended up spotting Dad, but then there was a hen between us and them. There ended up being 3 of them strutting. And one of them got it within range, I thought, and I took a shot, but I missed him. And then I started calling, and the others they stopped and started gobbling, and Dad got a shot at one of them, but missed it too. Anyway, that's been that. Need to hear something this morning. The mist is starting to pick up. I'm not going to stick around long. Well, we have finally killed one out of this barn. Dropped Dad off at Miss Agie's. Dad and I came down here to Glenn's. We were early. Drove across the creek and was on the other side, still early. Didn't hear anything. Drove on out to that clump of trees that's in the left field. From there, as soon as I got out of the truck, I heard one back toward this direction. Another one on the other side of the creek, next to the field on the right. Anyway, we ended up coming back to the barn because this one was pretty close. Got in a little dueling calling match with some hens. and he would gobble mostly to them. He was further up to the right. They were right out there somewhere behind the cattle hay thing. And he come down this way. Of course, she kept calling, I kept calling. He would answer her mostly. But anyway, her 2 hens flew down into the field on the other side of that cattle feeder thing. And just a minute, his white head popped up right behind it. And he strutted out there. And the hens stayed up the hill. But he strutted around that cattle feeder and come walking down the hill. And he got out there about 40 yards or so, and Glenn was ready, but I was letting him come as far as he'd come. But anyway, he stuck that head up and acted like he was saying something he didn't like. So Glenn shot him and knocked him down, and I shot him to finish him off. But anyway, it's the last Saturday of the season. The only time Glenn's got to go, made it work. All right, here he is. He's got his spurs are about 1 inch, I think.
Yeah.
Beard's maybe 9 inches or so. He sure strutted around out there.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't think he'd leave those hens, but he wanted to come check out the other one, didn't he?
You sounded hotter than the milk.
Sounded dirty, I guess.
Talk dirty to him.
I love talking dirty to turkeys. I really do. Oh, man.